Yeah, how's it going? Today is Monday, new week, October 21st, and in today's video, we can try to take a look at some of this opportunity. Most likely, we will try to make a little bit of fun in the beginning of this video. Poke a little bit of fun from their progress and to try to understand what these articles are all about when it comes to publishing some of those contracts, as well as we're going to be taking a look at what's happening in the UK when it comes to some of the food sectors. Since climate change is doing a lot to damage yields, so how much farmers would be able to produce and how that will be affected. Perhaps government is already preparing for a season, right? Let's begin by taking a look at NHS and what's happening in UK. Quickly, if we could check on the calendar and see where we are, we have finished week 164. That would be starting day 14. Overall, it's a great week. We have done a little marketing and promotion, as well as I have spent a lot of time reaching out to a number of different people. This week we're gonna be taking a look at starting with Monday. There's gonna be a lot, and every second day of the week we're gonna be doing marketing, as well as we're gonna be taking a look at government contracts. First, we can take a look at productivity, and we're going to be taking a look at information that was published 16th of May 2024. I'm myself and all other taxpayers are paying a lot. I'm not sure for what. So we're going to be taking a look at productivity graph and how productive, according to our Office for National Statistics, productivity estimates from 97, 98 to 21, 22, and how productivity have fallen and what the government is looking to tackle this kind of issues. I believe that productivity have fallen by around 6% or so, but the way how again information presented in this work is very hard to understand. 6%. We don't have time to do all this gymnastics. What gymnastics? 6%. Briefly, we can take a look at some of the actions that the government has taken that with the previous government. It's something that we covered previously. That would be increase of pay. Newly qualified nurse will see their salary going up for more than £2,750 over 2 years, as well as there is a motive based on experience. It might be up to 7 years, whereas there might be a pay plan for those individuals, as well as quote unquote ladder with people in NHS services could climb, and they have received a lot of incentives to pursue career in health services, right? As well as something that was published perhaps 2 months ago or so, that will be pay bodies to recommend additional increase of pay by at least 5.5% rise for teachers and NHS staff, a report says. I do not agree with that assumption where they would need to increase, and there's a better way of solving this kind of problems, and government should focus on those methods. We will come back to that in just a second, of where government could do better, right? So that would be perhaps when it comes to issuing some of the contracts, they should consider competition, right? Since some of those governments issuing contracts just to one company without competition, so that would be instead of focusing on people and the salaries, some of those companies receiving 60 million contracts without competition. Perhaps if a government is looking to address some of these issues, that would be where to look. If myself or other businesses looking to engage and sell products and services to NHS, sometimes it could be without competition. Sometimes. A lot of backroom deals going on, right? So taxpayers are paying for it. That will be overall. introduction to current situation and where things are, since now we're going to be taking a look at government's press release, something that was published today, that will be government issuing relying cry for nation to help to fix NHS. So now people need to engage with NHS to help. Member of public as well as NHS staff and experts will be invited to share their experience, views, and ideas to fix NHS. Perhaps introduction of competition will be a good start. I don't know that much about health services. I would rather focus on prevention and what measures could be introduced to prevent people to getting into NHS in the first place, because things only getting worse. So perhaps giving more opportunities for communities, and how fitness, all this kind of areas is something perhaps would be more of my expertise, and how I'd be looking to address NHS, preventative measures and overall health, better food, all these kind of things, right? Instead of NHS services, if that makes sense, right? But it would perhaps would be harder to address this kind of things. I won't be reading, since it might be a waste of time. If there is a way to engage with them, I don't think there is a way. There isn't a way to engage. So they're showing that they're doing. Perhaps there might be an online platform. Perhaps there might be a way to engage. Maybe. Usually it's a waste of time. Since contracts have been handed to different businesses without competition. So that's my feedback. Let's progress. I had reached out to NHS previously, many different departments, and for feedback, response was that they do not understand what I'm talking about. That's where a lot of pessimism is coming from when it comes to addressing any of the issues and taxpayers subsidizing these services, and where those finances would be allocated, right? That's where a lot of pessimism, since they already built this kind of system where contracts been handed and all the productivity seems to be falling. All all companies invest, by the way, which is worrying since that's health services. Let's take a look at this press release, but it's kind of hard to understand since anyway, Germany says UK taking lead on possible Eurofighter for Turkey. I don't know, since Turkey has way better technology and way better technology, and perhaps they might be interested in diversifying the fleet by purchasing Eurofighters. But again, I don't understand why. Anyway, it's kind of troubling. I won't be reading it since Turkey have built their own fighter line of fighters, which is cutting edge. Someone would argue that they are better fighters compared to other fighters. It's unpiloted to begin with. Yeah, and I think on a scale, when it comes to some of the technology, perhaps other governments not releasing what kind of technology they are having. But I would say Turkey at the second place just because of expenditure to this area, and I don't understand why Turkey would be interested in purchasing Eurofighters. I don't get it. Turkey for a very long time was struggling to introduce their own line of cars or vehicles, or automated vehicles, right? So perhaps instead of focusing on those, they were focusing on aircraft, right? After a long time of struggle. And when we take a look at Germany or German industry, perhaps Germany might be interested in diversifying their own portfolio of what kind of capabilities Germany would have in the future. But anyway, let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Anyway, let's take a look at next press release, something that was published today that will be perhaps positive note, hopefully. It's just climate change and everything what's happening when it comes to food security, right? Government provides certainty to horticulture and all poultry businesses. The government has underlined its commitment to the horticulture and all poultry sectors by confirming measures to provide stability, including the allocation for the seasonal work visas throughout for 2025. And again, the government, if not right now, the government gonna have a lot of problems in the future, similar to NHS, where there's small groups of individuals and they're forming those committees, and there's only a certain number of people allowed to sit next to the table. We're offering or sharing a lot of ideas, and there will be a lot of business interest people, and they would not necessarily be interested in allowing anybody else. And there might be similar problems in the future where people are going to be overpaying, where contracts would be handed only to a handful of people. Again, I'd say it's very similar situation. If not right now, it's going to happen in the future. It's just a matter of time. But anyway, we can read this article. But myself, as of now, I was taking a look at some of those committees and the way how they've been formed. Previously, I was trying to engage with different committees and how they are planning all these kind of things and preparing for this kind of challenges when it comes to visas, work, cost, all these kind of things. But again, they have their own interest, right? A package of measures to provide certainty and stability to farmers and all growers in the UK, horticulture, poultry, and sheep sector has been announced by the government today. Poultry, we were taking a look at, I believe, last time that I checked was 20,000, with horticulture most likely we're going up slightly. But anyway. Underlying the government's commitment to the horticulture and all poultry sectors, the seasonal worker visa route has been confirmed for 2025, with a total of 43,000 seasonal worker visas available for horticulture and 2,000 for poultry. Was it only 2,000? I believe it was about 10,000 or 20,000, but anyway, so anyway, let's progress. This will provide certainty and will help sector to secure labor and all skills needed to bring high quality British produce, including strawberries, rhubarb, turkey, and all the Foddy's to market. Alongside this, government is taking action to keep costs down. Basically, costs will gonna go up and protect poultry farmers from the impact of avian influenza and all, delivering fairness in supply chain for sheep farmers. Sheep, I don't understand it since fat percentage could be usually about 20%, but some people like it. A lot of friends from Italy eating sheep only once a year around the New Year, so since fat percentage could be very high, but anyway, some people like it. But produce receive the fair price for livestock throughout legislation to mandate sheep care case classification and on price reporting. It's good that the government is doing, perhaps as well as government. There's more measures, right? So a lot of food might be labeled where it will be produced, so that will be made in UK, all these kind of labels, as well as we're looking to protect its markets, as well as manage migration potentially. So there's a lot of measures, right? As well as climate change would be impactful next year, and would all these prices would only gonna go up basically. I don't know. I believe the entire video might go sideways. Usually, I like to stick to and or take a look at opportunities. So since we were taking a look at UK trying to sell some of that technology to Turkey, which is great. UK, we should encourage UK selling more of this kind of technology, even though Turkey might have better technology. UK trying to sell some of that technology to Turkey is a great decision, by the way. UK's government trying to introduce some of these measures to make sure to reduce food prices, which would only gonna go up. It's a good step. By the way. UK's government introducing measures to gather feedback and do nothing with that feedback. We're offering contracts without competition. At least government can say that they're doing something. It's always a good thing. So we can engage with government and offer some of the solutions to NHS, which we had offered previously, and people responded to us saying that they don't understand what we're saying. So at least government is doing something, right? So let's perhaps finish on that without going too much into detail when it comes to the food sector or food security and prices and some of the measures that government is looking to introduce, since most likely prices would gonna go up with some of these measures. They would try to balance those prices, but most likely based on manufacturers, including climate change, prices would go only gonna go up, right? Let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.